Hey guys, what is up? John here from flyatmycalf.com. Today we're talking gravel, big rocks, propellers, all the bad things that happen when you do a run-up near loose gravel and rocks. So, yeah, rocks, gravel, propellers, not a good mix, okay? Not something we really want to mix together, because what happens when you're taxiing around, and you're a student, and you're using a little bit of excess power there, you're riding the brakes and taxiing with too much power over loose gravel, you're pulling up all that sand, dirt, rocks, debris into your propeller, and it's abrading the leading edge of it. Now, if I'm a flight school owner, do you really think that I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the cost, or do you think that if I have to keep working on propellers and possibly replacing propellers because students are beating them up, well, they're probably just going to roll that price into the price of the rental, and you're going to wind up paying for it anyways. If we're taxiing around using excess power to taxi, if we just fire it up, we just release the brake and we're about to add power to get rolling forward, minimum power always. Until we're rolling down the taxiway, you want to keep minimal power in there, or until you're rolling down the runway, minimal power to prevent rocks and sand and debris being sucked up into the propeller. Always, always avoid doing a run-up over loose rock or gravel. Find somewhere else that is better. Very difficult to find good places when you're at non-paved airports, but it's really important to try to find a spot. Even some non-paved airports have concrete pads that are a small area that's paved just specifically for you to do a run-up, so you don't pull gravel and rocks up into your propeller and put big dings and dents in it. If we look really closely at this propeller, we can see, hey, you know, it's really not in that bad a shape here. It's okay, you know, could be better. It's got a few dings and dents in it, but overall, it's pretty good. It's been worked on. It's been certainly abraded away from the salt and from the dirt that's on the ground. And people could have probably been a little gentler with it, but overall not the end of the world. Now, what would happen if we were to do a run-up around a lot of loose rocks and loose gravel, even small-sized gravel? Even loose asphalt like this, not a good thing to be using a lot of power to taxi around. It's all over Florida, all over airports all over the country, but especially in Florida where the sun's really hard on the pavement and brings up some of that loose gravel, loose debris. If we look here at the other leading edge of this propeller here, it's pretty much in similar shape, actually a little bit better, really. Overall, it's abraded, there's some paint missing, but there's really no big dings or dents. There's some nicks in there, but we're gonna see what this thing looks like after we go ahead and do a run-up, well, over a bunch of loose asphalt like this. So it's a bit easier to see in slow-mo, but eventually that suction from the front of the propeller, that low pressure in front of the propeller, will pull up the rocks, pull up loose sand, even pull up water. Anything that's on the ground, it will suck it up. Now, of course, being at lower power settings and having the propeller higher off the ground helps. That's why you see a lot of tailwheel airplanes going off airport. A tailwheel aircraft typically has much better prop clearance and that three-point attitude with the tail on the ground, because it has the nose pointed up in the air, keeps that propeller away from loose sand and gravel and rocks. Now, the other interesting thing here is the rocks and the gravel and things that are getting pulled up here in Florida, well, they're kind of exploding when they hit the propeller. They're abrading it, taking the paint off, getting down to bare metal, leaving a little bit of a mark, but ultimately they're really exploding. Compared to in Alaska, we see much denser stones really leave a much deeper scar in the propeller when they actually hit an impact. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what it looks like. So the verdict, well, it's a little bit worse for the wear. Just one very short run-up, about 10-15 seconds at 1700 RPM. It's got a few more nicks in here, nothing major, nothing that would basically destroy the propeller and say it has to be replaced on the spot, but definitely stuff you'd want to address before you went to go fly next. And one pretty good nick here, probably from a little bit bigger stone that got picked up. Even those little tiny pebbles, like yay big, still really leave quite the dent, quite the ding in your propeller. So yeah, do yourself a favor, save yourself some money, save your flight school some money, keep those rental prices nice and low. Don't taxi with excessive power. Don't add a whole bunch of power to get rolling. Just add a little bit, just slowly get the airplane rolling before you bring in more power so that the gravel is passing behind the airplane, you're not sucking it up into the propeller. And if you're going to be taking off or operating at unpaved airports, try to find nice smooth areas to do your run up. If you're taking off at an unpaved airport, especially a gravel strip, slowly add in that power. If it's a short gravel strip and you need to add power really quick, well, think twice about going there in the first place, or go there with an airplane that's a little bit more capable, like a Cub or the Bearhawk that we fly, or something like that, so you don't have to slam in a whole bunch of power right from a dead stop and suck up all those rocks into your propeller. To give you an idea of what it takes to actually leave a dent in a propeller, we figured we would take this little attitude adjustment bar and see what kind of dent we can put in here, because this guy's done flying. So that's what that does. Nice little ding there. If we give it one more little love tap here, that's what you get. A little bit more, and one final home run. And of course, Steph's backing up. You can be a little closer, it'll be fine. I've got a good grip, it's rigid. It's got nice little ribs here.
Safety glasses on.
Oh yeah, she's got safety glasses. Ooh, nice tune there.
No ear protection.
So yeah, that would be, I don't know, some guys would say they could file that out, believe it or not. You'll see some propellers with big kind of arcs taken out of them, and of course on the other side to balance the weight. But a notch like that, I'd prefer to replace the propeller at that point. There are some guys that would file that out of there. Of course, it's up to the A&P's discretion, or IA, or the propeller shop, or whoever. But there's lots of manuals that tell you what you can and can't file out, where it can be on the propeller, and how to compensate if you take stuff from this station, this part of the propeller, they call it a station here, or this station, and doing the same on the opposite side so it stays within balance. But that's kind of it for this one, guys. Don't taxi through loose gravel with a bunch of power. If you have to taxi through loose gravel, stick back, yoke back, keep that nose nice and high. Use a little bit of power if you're on smooth pavement, you're gonna cross some gravel, maybe bump in a little power before, and then reduce it so that as you're cruising over that gravel or any loose sand or anything like that, you're not pulling it up in your propeller. That's it. Any questions? You guys know what to do. Leave it in the comments below. And if you cannot fly every day, fly8mikealpha.com. We'll see y'all in the next one. Yeah. That girl hasn't run in a while.
Can I take it for a lap around the pattern?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it'd be a great idea to take it for a lap around the pattern. Doing good.